And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Monday, June 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome a Monday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. Glad to be on the air, of course. And this morning, of course, it's for Absolute Kubota. Don Hamlet's here, and we're going to have a nice conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Well, good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, a good hot weekend.
Good hot weekend.
We do start every Monday morning off with a representative from Absolute Kubota. Absolute Kubota specializes in the sale of Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, and RTVs. They also carry Exmark mowers, one of the top-selling zero-turn mowers in the country, and are located in the same building as Absolute Rental and Supply, which specializes in tool and equipment rental. Again, we got Don Hamlet with us today. Don is in sales at Absolute Kubota. And I'd be more than happy to see you. We want to tell you that they are open Monday through Friday from 7 to 6, 7 to 4 on Saturdays, and are located at 1325 West Main in Lebanon behind Advance Auto Parts. Look for their big sign, the orange tractors. Phone number 615-449-6171. And the website is www.absolutekubota.com. You can also check them out on Facebook. Well, it's almost gone from early spring to the middle of summer.
It's hot out there. It's been rough. Now, just to let everybody know, we do have an air-conditioned showroom. You can come inside. I actually have at least one tractor parked inside, and a lot of lawnmowers and stuff, and all that stuff is inside, and you're more than welcome to come. And we can stay inside and stay cool. If you want to go out on the yard for a few minutes, we can go out there and you can drive a tractor around. I may stay inside while you drive the tractor around. Let you come in and ask some questions.
I was out on the road and saw where somebody had some hay, big hay bales, and it really looked nice. And I'm wondering if they did that with a Kubota.
I'd almost bet if they looked that good and tight and smooth, it probably was a Kubota baler.
But it is hay season.
It is. It's hay season. It's been going on here for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks now, and Jonathan handles a lot of that equipment and everything. We have rakes, tedders, disc mowers. We have a couple of balers there. We have parts for everything that you might need. If you need some new blades, everything's there.
Do you more specialize in lawnmowers, maybe?
Lawnmowers and tractors, and I do a lot with the used equipment. Just to let everybody know, we're more than welcome to trade in your used lawnmower. We do a lot of sales in that every year, so we love a good trade-in. No problem.
Well, that's good to know as well. But you've got your choice there, of course, in the mowers, and we've talked about this. Maybe Jonathan and I talked more about it than you and I have, but the Exmark is if you really want the ultimate, you probably want an Exmark. The Kubota does a fine job, but if you're wanting to outshine your neighbor, maybe is the way your yard's going to look when you get through.
And that's important. It's important to outshine your neighbor. You don't want to let them have a prettier yard than you do. No, we do. We sell Exmark lawnmowers. We have some starting at like $29.99, all the way up to, we actually have a big 8-foot batwing commercial grade lawnmower. You can cut 8 foot at a time. It's a zero-turn lawnmower. You should come by sometime, Coleman, just to look at it. Wow. I think I've got it parked right in the front window right now up front. And anything from there on that side, commercial side, on Kubota, anything from a small 42-inch zero-turn up to a big 72-inch diesels, hydraulic decks on them. We've got all different kinds, 0% financing for 48 months. A couple of the Kubotas, you can actually even get 0% for 60 months on a lawnmower and stuff. And
really, if your credit is any good,
let's decent,
say,
yeah,
decent,
yeah,
you don't have a problem.
Nah.
Some people would just, I guess, want to come in. Their normal way maybe is to pay cash. A few, but
and we will take it, no problems.
But if you can put that money to use and make a monthly payment.
That's right.
And no interest for a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just. You should be able to earn interest on your money. So if you want to keep your money, some people just are dead set on not having a payment. But if you can have a payment at 0% interest, it's to your advantage to go ahead and take advantage of that and then keep your money you know, if anything goes wrong with your house or your car or whatever, you've always got cash on hand, or you know, you're just earning interest in making money and spending somebody else's, you know.
Right. Well, I kind of like to pay cash as I go, but I could be talked into that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it'd be no big deal, you know, if you're borrowing $5, $6, $7, $8, $10,000 at 0% interest, and you could keep that money in the bank or in your 401k or wherever, and make money on it, you're getting ahead.
There you go.
You know,
but it's hard to believe in a way when you and I have experienced interest rates. I mean.
Oh, my first house
maybe
loan
3
was
or 4
almost.
times what they
Oh,
are
my
now.
first house loan was an FHA loan. It was almost 12% interest. You know, way back in the day. So I mean, you know, people nowadays would probably shoot a banker if he tried to throw those kind of numbers out. You know.
Well, you're open 7 to 6 Monday through Friday, 7 to 4 on Saturdays, and it does give working people an opportunity to come in after
That's true.
they get off at 5, or they can if they go to work at 8, they can come in at 7, between 7 and 8 o'clock. And I guess you have a lot of people who do that.
Yep, and still have the opportunity with, you know, some of the COVID things going on, people being nervous about that. You're more than welcome to call in. We'll get your parts ready. You call when you come or you pull up around back, and they'll bring your parts out to you. It's no touch, you know, and everything. And if you want to do anything like that, we can do loans. You know, I can email you the documents. You can sign them. We do everything e-signature, just like banks and everything do. And we'll be glad to bring a piece of equipment out to you and let you look at it. Whatever you want to do, we're willing to work with you.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that, and you're going the extra mile here, really. But it doesn't just stop with the sale. You have service after the sale. You have parts. You don't take 6 months to get somebody what they need.
That's true. I mean, we don't keep parts for the big package store equipment. We keep parts for the Red Max, the Land Pride, the Exmark, the Kubota, Billy Goat, the equipment that we sell. We keep belts, blades, fuel filters, air filters, all that stuff, hydraulic fluids, everything is in stock for the stuff that we sell. Our parts department keeps all that stuff in stock or ready to go.
Well, we are ready to go with our guest here.
I see he just buzzed in here.
But I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk about it next Monday again.
Awesome. You guys have a good day.
All right. Don Hamlet, he's in sales at Absolute Kubota, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. We are 11 minutes after the hour, and I want to welcome State Representative Clark Boyd, who is here and all ready to go here on a Monday morning. Good morning.
Hey, Coleman, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You're wearing your State Farm shirt today.
I am.
I'll give you a little free plug here.
I appreciate that.
But before we get to the legislature, just since we're talking about that, how long have you been in insurance?
In March of this year, it was 15 years.
15?
Well, that I've been an agent in Lebanon. I worked for the company up in East Tennessee for a couple of years before that, and then I was with another company before that for like 1 year.
Okay.
So I got in really young into insurance.
But you've pretty much been a State Farm guy all these years.
With the exception of 1 year, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have to take care of business for yourself and for the state, being our state legislator.
That's right.
And I hope they're both doing well.
Everything's going good, yeah.
Well, I got your weekly update here, and actually I think I read every word of that this morning. I was
good.
sifting through it. Well, I didn't read all the different business relief programs who that goes to, but there's a wealth of information here. I guess this is sent to a number of your constituents and so on.
Yeah, when somebody makes contact with the office, some people ask to be on there. They can go to the website and put themselves on there. But if we communicate with someone, we usually, they get on my list, so to keep them updated, and they can take themselves off if they don't want to. But I actually hear from a lot of people that tell me they read that because maybe I'm just busy, but before I became an elected official, I get a lot of those from other people. I never read them,
Okay.
but a lot of people will tell me they read them and get good information from them.
Well,
So-
I have a good reason to that. So
Yeah.
I'll be a little bit more informed to ask you. And of course, we get one from Representative Lynn, and Senator Pody sends one too. So that kind of keeps up with us. Well, it's been a unique time, but you did go back last Monday and started your sessions and so on. And I think you might have done something the week before. But tell us, kind of summarize what's happened.
Yeah, so very unique. So we go back and of course, as a legislator, we just go in the garage and walk in. But anybody now that's coming in the building, whether it be our staff or whether it be a visitor, they have to have their temperature checked. They have to wear a mask. They cannot come up to our offices without an appointment. They're kind of kept on the first floor. There's plexiglass on the house floor, between. Well, actually, it runs from the front desk all the way back. It's continuous. It splits the members because we share a desk. So to talk to someone next to you, you have to either stand up above the plexiglass or squat down and talk underneath it.
Have you done both?
We've done both because we're trying to talk to somebody. You're like, I can't hear you, And then we there's National Guardsmen there, a lot more troopers. There was a protest that I think was peaceful in nature on Monday night as we were leaving. And so it's a different world down there. There's not a lot of people visiting. And even the lobbyists, there's not a lot of them. The committee rooms, the audience, they've got these black sheets laid out over certain areas that basically mean you can't sit here. So they've got them spaced out. The Senate is they've shut themselves off. No one can go to the Senate. So you can't visit the Senate. So it's the Speaker controls the House, and the Speaker of the Senate, which is the Lieutenant Governor, controls the Senate, and they both have their own kind of set of guidelines that they're doing, and we're sort of running up against each other. We're trying to pass all the legislation that we went down there to do. The Senate is only doing things related to the COVID-19 or the budget, with the exception of some bills. Like I was telling someone the other day, I said it's kind of funny because they say they're only taking up COVID or things like that. But if there's a bill that they really like, or they have a friend, they'll come and see you. They'll be like, hey, that bill that you're carrying, we really need to get that passed. We're going to move it in the Senate, and so it is. It's interesting. But at the end of this week, there's going to be a lot of bills that have been passed in the House of Representatives, a few in the Senate, and one of two things is going to happen. Either the Senate's going to open up the gate and let their other bills through, and we'll have a lot of stuff get signed into law, or we will dismiss and go home, and all those bills that we passed will die for lack of a Senate.
So it's really all up in the air at this time as to what's going to happen. You don't really know.
Well, I saw Senator Pody over the weekend. He said that their guidance was they were going home Thursday for good.
No,
that they were finishing up.
Pretty what he told me last Friday. Too.
Well, the Speaker wants to. We're still running committees this week. I'm still, my committee shut down for the year. We finished up business on Thursday, but I still have bills that I have to go present this week. And so I don't know how we can go home on Thursday because, there are bills that we have in committee on Thursday, which means they're not going to be ready for the floor. They might if they expedite things, they're at the end of the.
But if the Senate goes home, then there's nothing you can do.
I know. I don't know.
It's kind of
it really is, yeah.
I think whoever decides to go home leaves the other one. They can't do anything. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to take a break right here. State Representative Clark Boyd is here. We'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford. They have the lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're wrapping up an accident right now. They're at 40th and Charlotte Ave out on the west side. It's building out here where you would expect. I-40 passing Donaldson Pike coming through Hermitage, Donaldson. Traffic still looks good through Brentwood, Franklin 65 going north. If your glasses keep fogging up, the answer is Zipwax Anti-Fog Cleaner, voted one of the best products under $20. Log on to zipwaxantifogcleaner.com. I'm Commander Chuck for your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Over the company, thanks for joining here on a Monday morning to get things started out right. So you're going to be, it's almost business as usual with the house.
That's right.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going full speed ahead and hoping to get some bills passed and hoping that, but I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, if it was just the opposite, if the Senate was wanting to do this and the House was saying, let's go home, it is the same end result. You got to have both to get a bill passed.
That's correct. Both chambers have to run a bill, and then the governor has to sign it. And so, my bills that I had in the pipeline have passed, and I believe the Senate has carried them. And I've taken one off of notice, that the one I was telling you about that dealt with the state retirement plan for veterans. It was just gonna. There was a fiscal note associated with it. We were still trying to work the details out, but considering everything that just happened with COVID-19, I just don't think it's a good year. Neither does the treasurer, and so I'm going to wait and run it next year. It was a good piece of legislation, but I mean, we're cutting everything to the bone this year with the budget, and I knew it wasn't going to make the cut. So I've cut it out. But we do have several things that we voted on this week that I hope pass. We've got one that allows for, since we're talking about veterans, it allows veterans of the armed forces that the state of Tennessee would look at what they have done in the military and give them an occupational license based on that. Now, not everything applies. The time that I was in the reserves and the National Guard, I mean, the things that I did was infantry at one point and was an armor officer. There's not really a translation for that. But if you were a medic or you were did something in human resources or you were a carpenter or something like that, those type of, or a barber, things like that they would allow that to come over. That's a good piece of legislation. I carried one this week dealing with short-term rentals. And Coleman, I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's now a way that people will put their house up for rent. It could just be one night, maybe like up in Bristol, Tennessee, where the big race is. It could be that you just go stay with the kids somewhere in another state and let people have your house for the weekend. Mm-hmm. It could be that you have a cabin in Gatlinburg or something that you lease out. But it's called an online platform, and there's a vacation rental by owner like VRBO. There's Airbnb and some different things. So I had a comprehensive piece of legislation that I was carrying that did several things. One of them is that in certain big cities, they'll give you a permit, but you can never, if you change anything, that permit's gone. But it was so tight that even if you got married or divorced or something, you had a name change, you would lose the permit. So we corrected that. But here's the big thing that I think is important about this bill. The people that have those pay a hotel motel tax if the city or the county that their home is in has one. But a lot of people don't know they're paying it. Some people find out later in an audit and get in trouble. Some people never pay it. Some people do. So what we did is earlier in the year we had passed legislation that said that these online platforms would collect sales tax if it was relevant, and that makes sense. And someone asked me in committee, they said, well, were they paying sales tax before? And I said, well, it depends. It's just like if you sell something and somebody comes to your house and pays you cash, that person may not collect sales tax on it. But if you use Amazon to sell your product, Amazon is going to collect sales tax for you. Yeah. And this is pretty much the same thing. But what the reason I think this is such a big deal is all of these local governments across the state are just like, oh my goodness, we need revenue. We're struggling. So what this will do is it will have these online rental platforms. If it's short term and it qualifies for hotel motel, not only would they be gathering the sales tax, but they'll collect the local hotel motel tax, send it to the State Department of Revenue, and they'll give it back to the local governments. And I know that they need that money right now, pretty bad. So,
How far did you get with this?
It'll be heard on the floor this week. I made it through the committee process.
So it's made through committee and beat the
yes.
floor. Then then the Senate would have to approve.
They're going to pass that one. That one's moving in the Senate. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's what I thought was kind of funny. Is there's some bills that they like and they'll move along, and then there's others that they'll say, well, it didn't have anything to do with COVID, So here's another thing. This is a big deal. So I don't know if you've heard of the portfolios, but pre-K and kindergarten teachers in this state have to do a portfolio. And it's a really odd thing because those kids are really too young to test. So what they do is they pick a student one is emerging, one's proficient, one's advanced. They videotape them. They do these different things. It's a pretty complicated process, and they submit it to the state, and then their pay is determined based on that, based on their score. And so it's just a cumbersome process. A lot of states have gotten away from it. We were still doing it. The House voted this week to do away with it, or not do away with it, but to take the state mandate off. So if the local education agencies want to do it, they can. They probably won't, because I talked to both of our superintendents, and they were very glad to see that requirement removed. But it is we voted in the House to do away with that. Now again, I talked to Donna Wright, and she was like, "That is so great," and a lot of people are going to love this. I'm not sure the Senate's going to take it up. So if you're a kindergarten teacher or a pre-K teacher out there, I've done my part. I'm not sure what's going on with the Senate, but that's a big deal now. And the other one that I passed on the House floor that I talked about earlier in the year, the economic and community development at the state level puts a tremendous amount of money. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars over the last decade. There's a lot of money that's been spent, oftentimes to recruit businesses to Tennessee, whether it be tax abatement or infrastructure grants or job training grants. There's a lot of different things, and we write up usually an accountability agreement with them, and if they don't meet their requirement, we're supposed to take the money back. But oftentimes, ECD has not done that. And so you've got a lot of taxpayer dollars that are going to bring businesses here. They scoot up to the table. They gobble up all the free stuff. And then as soon as the free stuff is gone, and we're like, now, just be a business with jobs here, then they leave and go to another state, And so I met with ECD, and they were honestly, they were very kind of secretive about what they were doing. And I could tell that they did not want to have a conversation with me, and they were very reluctant and dragging their feet. So I drafted a bill this year that says you will have to report that every year now. Any businesses that have outstanding, it's called a clawback. So we claw the money back. Any of those businesses out there that you are currently executing a clawback on, you're going to have to go to the Fiscal Review Committee and do a briefing each year. And so I had no idea that bill would be so popular. It's popular among Tennessee businesses because a lot of us, we started businesses without any state dollars. And so, but I mean, it was a unanimous vote. I even had a guy walk up to the podium, because it's on camera, with a form for me to sign so he could co-sponsor the bill before the vote happened. So it was a very popular bill, but that one has passed, and the Senate is taking that one up too. So
what will this slow down recruitment of business and industry?
No, I don't think so. It and we may I got mine moved along pretty quickly, and we've actually we may tweak it a little bit on the Senate side. My Senate sponsor, we were talking in the ECD and the business community had said, because they were initially really pushing back, and I said, look, I think it's well within our wheelhouse to look at the state dollars. I mean, it's not like you can't say it's none of my business. We have to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. Right. But we may change it to a report rather than a briefing. That way, it's on paper. It can be distributed to all members, and that way, it doesn't shame a company or anything for leaving. But no, I don't think so at all.
Okay, well, I know sometimes things are really kept secret before an announcement is ever made.
Oh, not that. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's been some legislation in the past that would give what I believe to be proprietary information about how we recruit businesses. It doesn't do that. It just says
is all after the fact.
If a company doesn't meet the requirement and they're leaving, we don't want the state to go, you know what, just go ahead and go. If they owe us the money back and they breach their contract, we need those state tax dollars back per the agreement. And so there have been some businesses that they really do come here just to get the free tax dollars, and then they move to another state and do it again, and they don't fulfill their obligation, and we need to get serious about that. A couple other things. Right. We have till 7:30, don't we? Yep. So a couple other things. I don't know if you knew about John DeBerry. He is a Democrat legislator from Memphis.
Yes.
And he has, as the party's gotten more liberal, he's been one of their more moderate, I guess would be the word, members. And this year, he's running for re-election. And after the filing deadline, the party went in and kicked him off the ballot because he'd not been voting. There were some votes that they believed to be party line things. He didn't stick with the party line. And honestly, that's a real dangerous precedent. When you're telling, because the same thing could happen on the Republican side too. I'm not necessarily pinpointing them. But when you have a situation where your party can kick you off the ballot because you didn't vote the party line, we have a problem with that. So we did pass legislation this year, sort of emergency legislation that would allow him as a city member to get on the ballot as an independent. And you may see some reform to how the two parties, the authority that they have to kick someone off the ballot. I think you may see next year some reform to that so that it goes more to the election commission. And then last thing is over the weekend, a judge in Nashville said that you can vote by mail. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
I believe that a higher court will overturn that. We have got things in place. If you are vulnerable or you have a sickness, an illness, or you're over 60, you can request a mail-in ballot. So we've got some things in place, and I don't think that if you've got a reason for needing one, that you can apply and probably get one. We have a lot of provisions in place, but we can't go to universal mail-in ballots. I mean, there's I think that the election process is too important, and we've got to guarantee the integrity of it. So.
Well, our time is up. Thanks so much for your visit. I guess since it's what it is, we need you back one more time. So let's say you'll come back in 2 weeks, and we'll wrap it up that day.
That sounds good, Coleman.
Right.
Good seeing you
Thank
today.
That's State Representative Clark Ford, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental. Fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Lampride, Red Max, Billy Goat, 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. Traffic's picked up quite a bit in the last few minutes out here in Bordeaux on Briley Parkway coming past County Hospital Road. Now, they've sent an ambulance to that location there at Charlotte Ave and 51st on the scene of that accident. 65, it is southbound between Harding Place and OHB on a accident. They're trying to move that over to the side. The heaviest flow is coming northbound, obviously. Vote for Dr. Byron Bush, Republican for U.S. Senate. Why? Because it matters. Log on to bushforsenate.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to rockywilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to rockywilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
Don't put off the things you should do today. Start a financial plan with Waypoint Financial Partners. Waypoint, your future, your way. For more information, call the Lebanon office of Waypoint Financial Partners at 615-444-6548. Securities and investment advisory services offered through AXA Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA, SIPC, Waypoint, your future, your way.
Have you heard the latest news about Exmark lawnmowers? The brand picked 2-1 over any other brand? Exmark is now honoring all police, fire, EMT, and military with the Exmark Honors Program. Receive up to $1,500 off on select models if you're a current or former police, fire, EMT, or military personnel. No better time than to step up to an Exmark. Come see the team at Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon.
We'll have a mix of sun and clouds today with highs topping out near 90 degrees. There is also a slight chance of rain today as well. On Tuesday, you'll need the umbrella. Widespread rain is in the forecast thanks to the leftovers of Tropical Storm Cristobal. On Wednesday, a few more scattered showers are in the forecast. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Welcome to part two. It is a Monday morning. We are joined, of course, by Billy Mullinax, Rocky Williams Premier, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Billy, good morning again.
Good morning, Coleman.
I hope you're doing well.
It's a beautiful Monday morning, Coleman. I have to be doing well.
It has gotten hot weather all of a sudden. And
well, but really not all of a sudden. I mean, it is June, and we had a pretty mild May.
That's what I'm talking about. It's been at the most 80 degrees most days, and then it jumps up to 94, 95.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's about that time.
Oh, it is. It's past time.
Yeah.
My tomatoes are actually growing now with the hot weather.
Yes, they will. They'll do very well.
We need to tell everybody you're located in Mount Juliet, 600 Pleasant Grove Road. Rocky Williams features no haggle pricing. Everybody pays the same great low price. You go as low as it can go at the start, and then it's up to you as to whether that's a good deal or not.
Well, and it is a good deal. It's just a matter of does it fit in your budget? Does it meet your needs?
A good deal for you. It's a good deal, but all of them don't fit your budget.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
But you probably got something that will fit your budget.
Absolutely. We've got all price ranges, Coleman, just about, and a wide selection of vehicles, and our inventory is still really, really good. So, and our website is a great place to start your hunt and looking for those, because our low no haggle price is posted right there on our website, Coleman.
All you got to do is go to rockywilliams.com.
Might see your neighbor there, Coleman.
And our whole mission is a miss if we don't do that every Monday morning. Rocky, but remember that. No kidding. I mean it's really great the way you do this, in my opinion, and I think I'm right about this. You've got at rockywilliams.com, your entire inventory is there. Your no haggle price is there, and what you see is what you get. You don't have to. If there are some other rebates you might qualify for, that's not even included here. The price you see there is what everybody is going to pay, unless they qualify for more.
Unless they qualify for more rebates, Coleman.
And that's a fair way to do this. And you don't. You just know somebody has gotten on there. You don't know who, and it doesn't really matter to you.
Right.
It just matters that they're looking, and you hopefully then going to come in and make a deal.
That's exactly right, Coleman. We know when they get on there, of course. We know how many people have been on our website and are looking, and it's a very user-friendly website, which some are and some are not, but ours is pretty easy to use and navigate through to find what you're looking for. And but the thing that really is different, Coleman, if you look at 10 other websites, they're all nearly without any question going to have click here for your e-price, or click for today's price, or click for your special price, or and all of those, when you do that, you have to submit your information in order to get that special price or your e-price. And Coleman, we give you our very best price right up front. It's posted right on our website. There's nothing that you have to do to get it, and you don't have to submit your information to get it. It's just a really easy way to shop, and you know what you're going to pay.
I've got to ask you this. We've never discussed this, Billy. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I've got to know. You come up with a price at some point when you have this car ready to be put on the market, ready to sell. When it comes in, if it's a trade or whether it's one you bought or got. Okay, you put your no haggle price there. Does that ever change? I mean, if that particular vehicle sits there for a couple of months, is there some reason that maybe your overhead increases, that you'd raise the price, or if it hasn't so, that you might change? We've never talked about it. I just wondered.
Coleman, on pre-owned vehicles, of course, if they keep sitting there, the price, we will take a reduction, and sometimes, lots of times, lose money on that vehicle. But we have to move the inventory. And so yes, it can go down. Very seldom ever do they go up, because they do not appreciate in value.
All right. Well, I hope you don't mind me asking that here on the air.
No.
But
we're very open and honest.
But the thing about it is, whatever, I mean, that price can change over time, whatever, maybe most likely go down. But it's because it hasn't moved. It is just that the no haggle price is still the no haggle price. It is what it is. What you see is what you get.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
There's if something has, let's just say that a car's been on our lot 6 months, and somebody's been watching it for 6 months, and they come in and say, well, now I know this car's been on your lot 6 months. I'm going to give you $500 less than what you've got it advertised for.
I know what the answer is.
The answer is going to be, we can't do that.
Right.
Even though and it's one thing that puts us at a disadvantage, Coleman, over other dealerships or automotive people that can negotiate. Most of the time, and so that's why we have to be very aggressive on our pricing right out of the gate. We don't start out making a lot of times the lots and lots of money per vehicle, because we're all about volume. We have to move that vehicle. And so it puts us at a little disadvantage, because we can't deviate off of that price and don't deviate off of that price. So even though something's been sitting there 6 months, somebody comes in and says, I'll give you $100 less, we have to let them walk away, Coleman.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you might change that price, but it's not because somebody comes in there.
That's
and
exactly
does that.
right.
You don't change it in the sale. You change it for everybody on RockyWilliams.com and whatever. Okay.
That's exactly right. It's just a fair, honest way to do business.
Okay, we need to close it out here. You do have service after the sale. You got a wonderful service department, and your sales department open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 7, 8, 9.
Sales open till 7.
Till 7, yeah.
Yep.
You closed. You took off a couple hours there back, I guess, in March, and that's still where it is.
Yep, that's still where we're at right now.
All right. But again, you can see the entire inventory, new and pre-owned cars, RockyWilliams.com. They price their cars, not their customers. And Billy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. We'll see you next Monday. We are about 19 minutes before the hour. And last Thursday, I guess we made our initial meet the candidate, so to speak, here on Coleman and Company. We have a couple of judges, circuit court judges, that we are starting out with, and then they're going to have 13 members of the running for boards of education. We've got 11 running for Wilson County Board of Education. There are 2 who are vying for the Lebanon Special School District Board of Education. Well, today Brandon Beller joins us to talk about his candidacy for circuit judge. District 15.
15th Judicial District. Yes.
All right. Well, good morning and welcome again. You were here when I walked in this morning, and
Again.
good to see you. There you go. We are certainly glad to see you. Now, one other time, I believe we had you out here when we invited you, and then you've paid for all the other visits. And today we've invited you, and you've got some more you're paying for, I understand. But anyway, we welcome you to our program, and you've been here before. We certainly have already got accustomed to you. Our listeners have, but there probably are some listening today that haven't before. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Get us started here this morning.
Sure. First of all, good morning to everyone. My name is Brandon Beller. I'm a candidate for the 15th Judicial District Circuit Court Judge race. This is the seat that Judge John Wooten Jr. retired from, effective January 1, 2020. A little bit about myself. I'm a practicing attorney in Carthage, Tennessee, a Smith County native, born and raised. I'm a second-generation attorney. I graduated from Gordonsville High School, the University of Tennessee in 1991, and the University of Memphis in 1995. I received my law license the same year, and I've been practicing for almost 25 years. During that time, I've had the good pleasure of representing a lot of individuals, families, churches, nonprofit corporations, and corporations in general, small businesses, various boards and local governments. I've tried a lot of cases in this region and in every county in the 15th Judicial District and other judicial districts across the state. Of course, I've also had the good pleasure and experience of having cases of mine heard before the Supreme Court of the state of Tennessee, the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Criminal Appeals.
Tell us just a little bit about your family, if you would.
Well, I have my wife, Kara. She's a practicing attorney with me in Carthage. Our firm's Beller and Beller. She doesn't necessarily do the same things that I do, but she's a very, very astute and very good counsel and my partner and the love of my life.
And so the Beller and Beller is you and her.
Yes.
Okay.
That's she and I. Now my father has a firm too in Carthage. It's Beller and Winkler. So there's a lot of Bellers that are licensed to practice law in the region. So, yeah. And I've got two wonderful sons, John and Joshua. They're 23. They're both my strength and my honor. Love them both. They're good young men and very proud of them. Very, very good sons.
All right, we are almost time to go to a break here. I want to ask you one thing here about campaigning with the coronavirus and the social distancing. Has that hampered you, or is you had to do it maybe a different way, or?
You just do it a different way. You think outside the box in ways to reach people, to get your message out. Obviously, social media is something you can use. There are other methods. By and large, depending upon where you go, social distancing is practiced a little more heavily in certain areas than others. So you have a little bit more liberty in and I'm going to say your rural counties than you would say the further west you go. It's a little different thought process from county to county, and I have to adjust accordingly. But the number one thing is to respect other people in what their desires are and identify those early on about the social distancing, what they expect from you.
All right. Okay, it is time for us to take a break. We'll talk more at Brandon Beller in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic really run slow at times as a rubberneck driving by a crash as you head down to Brentwood there on 65 southbound, just past OHB. Again, it's headed down towards Brentwood on 65 south. The heaviest flow is coming northbound on 65 up through Williamson County. Charlotte Ave and 51st, that rate should be out of there in just a few minutes. If your glasses are always fine, I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on Monday morning. We do have Brandon Beller. He is my guest today and talking about his candidate for the 15th Judicial District Judge. And this will all be decided in the August 6th election. Thursday, August the 6th is election day, and 2 candidates on the ballot. You have a judicial candidate survey here, I think, that you want to talk about. And this is, you've shown it to me during the break here, quite interesting. So I'll let you tell what it's all about.
Well, one of the things that, Coleman, that we do as attorneys, we're all familiar with the practice of law. We're familiar with judges, the way they handle themselves, what we expect as attorneys out of a judge in order to run a court system smoothly. And there are a lot of factors that you look at, particularly when it comes to your expectations, and that's not just for yourself. That is for your clientele, the people that you represent. Consistency. when I stood in front of Judge Wooten, I would know that Judge Wooten how he would handle a particular case, and there was consistency there, and so I could speak to my client about that. And you never guarantee a result, but you say, well, the probability is that he may fall along these lines if we go forward in this case. And so it helps you be able to talk to your client in helping them make a decision with regard to their case. Part of the judicial candidate survey, that there were several things that were looked at in the way that the 76 participants of the 15th Judicial District Bar Association rated each candidate, and in categories of judicial demeanor, knowledge of the law, ethics, and experience. And those 4 categories were things that the Bar Association considered important in weighing who they wanted to be as their next circuit court judge. With all humility, and I have to say it, I'm honored to know that my peers and those practitioners that enter the courtrooms and practice in circuit court have the confidence in me and have supported me in the results of this survey. It's 94.7% approval rating of the Bar Association as me as your next circuit court judge.
Now, if I understand this right here, there were 76 responses, 75 answered, 1 unanswered. So you had 75 people in this survey of those involved in the judiciary in the district. Okay. Well, without a doubt, you look good here.
Well, in no reflection on my opponent, but the fact of the matter is that the body of work that I've done during the course and scope of my career is I mean, for a small town country lawyer, I've been to a lot of different places. I've practiced in Nashville. Like I said, I've practiced from the Supreme Court. I'm not a novice to the practice of law. I'm not a novice to circuit court practice and what's necessary. As I emphasized before on several of the broadcast, I've had jury trial experience and quite a bit of jury trial experience. My Judge John Wooten Jr., before he ever took the bench, and this is the seat that both candidates are vying for, he had an enormous amount of jury trial experience. And to me, that's a requisite with what is required. A lot of in our adversarial system, when I have someone that's on the other side of me in a case, then I have to work with that attorney. I have to hold myself out ethically. I have to demonstrate knowledge of the law, not only for my client, but also for someone else, my opponent, because as we all should be as practitioners and judges, we should always strive for the very best, to be the very best in what we do, which requires you to be a student of the law. It requires you to love the law and to adhere to the law and following the law to the best of one's ability. I know there was some commentary made that with regard to things that people may have said or may not have said. They said, you don't have any judicial experience. Well, that's not an accurate statement. I actually do have judicial experience. Now, I've never been elected as a general sessions judge, and I've never been elected as a circuit court judge, but I have sat on the bench. I sat as a juvenile referee, and I've also sat as a municipal judge. So to say that I don't have judicial experience is not accurate. Furthermore, as far as a judge should, in every instance of the case, it's not about just simply making decisions because you have the ability to do so. It's making those decisions that are studious, because when you're dealing in circuit court practice, you're dealing with people. These are people's lives. These are people that they are absolutely concerned about their cases. Some of them, it may mean a lengthy prison sentence. That's someone's loved one. It may be someone that is in a medical malpractice lawsuit. That they were personally injured, or an automobile accident, or maybe a governmental tort liability claim. or maybe it's a partition suit or a will contest. These are all areas that the circuit court deals with. And so it's a little bit different than other types of court. You have courts of appellate courts. These are courts of review. They don't hear the facts. They review the law and decide whether or not the trier of fact, the judge or the jury was correct. Circuit court conducts jury trials. That's the emphasis. Jury trials, and in this particular seat, it's both civil and criminal, which, again, as I pointed out, I have quite a bit of experience in those areas. General Sessions Court is a court of limited jurisdiction. The monetary value is $25,000. And you hear cases you do hear some criminal cases, but you don't conduct jury trials there. In felony cases, you're limited to a preliminary hearing or a bind over. So some of these concepts may be a little bit foreign to folks, but nonetheless, there's a limitation of scope and authority with a general sessions judge that a circuit court judge is not limited by. So it's apples and oranges in comparing the two.
Let me change this just a little bit. Of course, we have the Republican nominee. You are running as an independent. Do you feel that makes you maybe in an underdog position at all?
Well, I've talked to quite a few folks that are devout Republicans, and I've talked to quite a few folks that are devout Democrats. And I think that one of the things that they want to see, a good portion of them, they do not want partisan politics in a judicial race. They don't want it in a local election. And I keep hearing a lot of the things that I've been saying echoed back in my ears, that we don't want to tie politics to a judicial candidate because the judge has to be fair and impartial. Well, if you are in that position where you have, and I believe Representative Boyd may have hit on it a little bit earlier, he spoke of a gentleman about where a particular party had kicked them off the ballot.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
They kicked them off the ballot because they couldn't control him any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're a judge, you cannot allow any external influence, politics or otherwise, to control your decision-making processes. You cannot allow that influence. If you do that, then what you're doing, you're creating a system of bias. You're creating a system where you don't respect persons. It's not fair. And we need to keep the partisan politics out of the judiciary. I'm adamant about that. We've never had that before in the 15th Judicial District. We've had good judges, and we need to keep it free of the partisan politics. And ultimately, when elected, you serve everybody. You serve for the people, any candidate. And why bring up the issue? Why start an issue that doesn't need to be to begin with? That's what I have to say about it.
Yeah. We've got about 4 minutes left here this morning, and no doubt you're campaigning hard as your schedule will allow. There may be some other points you want. If something else that I haven't asked here, something you'd like to tell us here in a couple of minutes, we'll give you a minute or so to wrap it all up, summarize. But before that, anything else you want to tell us?
Some things that I think that a lot of people want to know about their candidate and what kind of person they are. Do they have a propensity toward honesty? Are they forthright? What is their character like? I encourage people. I'll just right now it's a very difficult time campaigning to an extent, so we have to use means that are not conventional. I encourage anyone within the sound of my voice that they can reach out to me. And certainly, if they want to have a discussion about my candidacy, I invite it. I will gladly to come to small groups. My office number is 615-588-1605. Probably some of my staff may be a little upset that I gave that out, but just tell them you're calling about the candidacy for Brandon Beller, and they'll get me your number, and we can talk. I want to serve the people of the 15th Judicial District. This is my home. I love these people. I love the law, and I'm ready to serve. I've spent a lot of my career doing a variety of different things. I've represented I have to sometimes think about, all the things that I've done in my career. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to remember every little detail. But to say this, that I am the most experienced candidate, and I want everyone to know that my qualifications, my peers support me. They are confident in me that I've got the ability to serve you, the judicial demeanor, the ethics, the knowledge, and the experience. And I'd appreciate your vote if I could have it.
And here again, you are very pleased with this judicial candidate survey. And who initiated that?
The Bar Association. The 15th Judicial District Bar Association is a 5-county membership, and they are responsible for keeping the bar informed, changes in the law. They're a body of attorneys.
So this was an independent thing.
Sure, absolutely. And these are men and women. They both of them. There are many of, I know quite a few of them. They all sit on different sides of the aisle in their political views.
Right.
They come from all different walks of life, and so these are the fathers and mothers, sons and daughters. They live here in the 15th Judicial District. They practice here.
And you have a 94.7% approval.
Yes, sir.
30 seconds, wrap it up. Why should people vote for Brandon Beller?
Well, Coleman, just to sum it up, I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to follow the law. And it's not just simply about making a decision. It's about making the right decision. I've got the experience. I've got the confidence in my peers. I've got the work ethic. And I'm ready to do this. And I certainly want the folks of Wilson County and the surrounding counties to know that Brandon Beller will serve for the people.
Thank you for being here this morning. Election again is August the 6th. Early voting begins. I believe it's August the 12th. July the 12th, and we'll talk more. Thanks again. We appreciate it, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a magnificent